Oh yeah, riding my new Ninja 1600 Hayabusa twin turbo to work on the race car. What's up YouTube? I know our last couple videos have been mainly about the RSX and the Miata. Haven't been showing much content on the race car, but today we actually have a few parts that we're gonna start mocking up on it and finally dive right into this build again. It's been a while, but been working a lot, got done with school, and picked up another job, so I really haven't had much time to be doing everything. But took the day off today. Hopefully we can start working on it a bit and get it out from under all this crap. Okay, got the car exactly where I want it to be. It's out of the cluttered garage, and we can start working on it. But before, I'm gonna throw the bumper on because I miss how the front of the Integra looks. Oh, I really miss that look. Fenders aren't on, they're in the back of the car right now. The inside of the car is a mess. See if I can clean that out real quick. I got this really cheap eBay steering wheel, so I don't have the stock one anymore. But, this build's kind of been put on hold the last couple months, which really makes me sad. But I got some goodies in the RSX I brought over. So in my last video, you saw that I've got the Looms Engineering full race street harness. Comes in 2 pieces. And this basically goes from a couple large connectors straight into your ECU. Then it tucks away through the firewall, obviously. And all of the connectors are nice and wired in to make it look tucked. Well, it is tucked. And you can have it custom made. With, here's like my alternator plug and my custom injector plugs. And I'm sure you guys know what a wire tuck or a engine harness tuck is. It's essentially what that is right there. I've got that harness. I've got the Honda S300 V3, the one with Bluetooth. Got this nice mid plate. I don't remember who the company was real quick. I'll see if I can add a little thumbnail to this. Nice mid plate, billet aluminum. Came with 2 steel tabs. I think I got it for about $150 earlier this month through a group buy on one of the Facebook sports front wheel drive pages. Then these 2 steel tabs weld onto the traction bar, and this bolts onto the lower half of the transmission, normally where the dust cover is for the transmission. So that just bolts on right there, becomes the new dust shield essentially. And this bolts on right here this way and welds onto the front of the traction bar. So it makes the engine essentially solid with the traction bar, making it solid with the chassis. So it really takes a lot of strain off of your engine mounts. In my case, I have the full polyurethane solid mounts anyway, so it's not gonna be too much of a savior, but it is gonna help a lot with flex during launch and at high RPMs. Next, I've got the CNC 412 series inline stage and brake. So whoever's seen my build previously, they know that I have the eBay stage and brake right now. eBay isn't the brand, but it's the cheap one that you can get for like 30 bucks. This was about 140, I want to say. So this is the actual good one in comparison to the cheap ones. I got a KS Tune, Kaizen I think it's called, Kaizen Tune staging brake bracket mount, or bracket, whatever you want to call it. This right here goes into your center console, or what used to be the center console, and essentially if you see this little curve right here, it's where the tunnel for the shifter goes. So you basically bolt this on, and the stage and brake goes on top of here, so you have it nice and secure. I believe this is made for the 402 series, and this is the 412. The mounting points are different on the 412 and 402. 402, I think it's 2 in the front and the 1 in the back, just like it shows right here. The 412 has 2 a little bit spaced out more than this one is, and then 2 in the back, which I think we might be able to fit right here. We'll probably end up having to modify this, but it's nice to have a little bracket to go off of, since I couldn't find a 412 bracket online. I think that cost me about 45 bucks. Really great company, super fast shipping online. And that pretty much does it for our new parts right now. So let's see if we can dive right into the car. This is that eBay bracket that I was selling, or the eBay e-brake that I had. If you looked at my brake tuck video, we have that in the part 2, if I'm not mistaken. Right here, it's leaking out of the back fitting. It's leaking out of the boot out here. So we're pretty happy to have upgraded to it. And the way that we have it mounted is kind of sketch as well. So we're gonna be using the nice bracket that came with the other handbrake that we're gonna be using. Over here, we had some mocking up stuff. We were just mocking up the T's for the rear. You can see it's been leaking a little bit. So this was all basically a test trial for it. We weren't really gonna run the car like that, just because it's leaking, obviously. And now that we have the CNC 412, we're gonna be doing everything correctly and installing it the right way. This is kind of just an overview of the car, how it's sitting right now. Engine bay got painted. During the Hurricane Irma, we put all the cars into the garage, and somebody threw a blanket on top of the engine bay right here on the core support that had brake fluid on. When I found out, it was already too late, and it ripped up some of the paint. So we're probably gonna be hitting this with a little bit of primer in this area right here, scuff it up a bit, and just lay a little bit of the same color on top. That way it'll look like nothing really happened. We did the brake tuck in one of our previous videos, and although it's not beautifully bent or anything, we've got the 40/40 valve rerouted to under the hood. Or not under the hood, under the dash, or what used to be the dash. We've got it sitting right up here onto what used to mount the module for the ABS. On the ABS cars, this one didn't come with ABS from the factory, but that's where it goes right there. And that's pretty much it for the engine bay side. The dash, I've got it taken out right now just because we were doing some gauge mounting to it. Our previous gauge mount was right in the center of the dash on this little cheap sheet metal that I got at Home Depot. Got a fenders back there, strut bar, a couple extra tires. If you looked at my unboxing video for the harness, you remember me talking about the jumper harness. I think I mentioned it, and if I didn't, we're going to use the same jumper harness that we did with an OBD2 harness, since I requested to have this made OBD2, just so we could have all of our wiring done directly to the harness and not, or to the jumper harness, and not mess up the actual harness itself. That's pretty much it on this side. The doors, the passenger side door is fully cut and put back on the car. I've got the driver side door cut as well, just haven't installed it yet. I've got my motor being degreed at the moment up in Jacksonville, so that should be done either tonight or tomorrow. Transmission's still the same setup. Want to go with a better diff one of these days, but right now I have the Phantom grip. Really crappy, it's probably gonna blow as soon as we get the car running, but you know, it's what we got for now. Also planning to do a 5th gear cuff if I could. Really just depends if I see any good deals on a full transmission with diff and cuff and all, or if not, I might put one together. Got the whole turbo kit and everything here, the Garrett 3582. Hasn't seen boost in some while since it blew up last year, or earlier this year. Up pipes, manifold, all that good stuff. But yeah, she's slowly coming together. Hopefully right now we can get some of the inside cleaned up and prep it for the new brake setup. And we're trying to shoot for late January to have this fully running and breaking in the miles on the new motor setup. It's a CSS block with pistons, rods, got Pro 1 cams, also got springs retainers by SuperTech, 2200cc injectors, Walbro 450 we're about to put in one of these days. The whole setup has been gone over in other videos, and I've got a whole build thread on Instagram under Slowintegra. It's my personal account as well as my car account. I have them both together. But if you guys have any questions or want to know more about the build, just drop it down in the comment section below. Subscribe, stay tuned as always, and keep it easy.